Hi, this is Michelle from the Corporate Parkway branch of the St. Charles City County Library. The craft I will be showing you how to make today is an origami starburst wreath. Let's get started. The supplies you will need for today's origami wreath are 16 pieces of paper. You can use plain paper, cardstock, preferably a lightweight cardstock. If you have scrapbooking paper, that works also if you want a pattern on your wreath. And then also construction paper would also be another choice. In case you haven't noticed, the one thing about all 16 pieces is that they need to be the same size. The larger the square, the larger your wreath will be. The size I've chosen today is 8.5 inch square. So you can see it's 8.5 inches and by 8.5 inches. Now, how do you get your paper to this size? That's where some other things will come into play. One of the things you could do is if you take a plain piece of white cardstock, you can easily make it square and make a template for your other pieces of paper by folding it over. So your corner here goes along the long side of your piece of construction paper. Just go ahead and do that. Give it a nice crease. Then what you'll want to do is grab a pencil or pen, whichever, because this isn't going to be used for your wreath. And you're going to draw a line along here. Then just simply take a pair of scissors and unfold this. Cut that excess part off. And hopefully I can cut a straight line here. And there you go. You have gotten yourself a template that you can use to get all your other pieces down to this 8.5 inch square. And basically all you do then is take your template, lay it over your piece of paper. Again, I would use a pencil. Unfortunately, I grabbed a pen here. Just put a nice light mark and go ahead and cut it down to size. So after you've done that, you should also have 16 pieces of paper, all square in shape. The theme for my wreath that I'm going to make with the 4th of July basically around the corner, it will be here before we know it. I did mine pattern is going to be red, white, and blue. So I can hang it on my door and celebrate the holiday. Let's see. So one of the things I want to mention, if you have a piece of paper that has a pattern on it and it's only on one side, make sure as you go to fold that you have the pattern face down. So how you're going to do this is you're going to take your piece of paper, fold it in half, like so. And you do want to make sure you line up your edges very well. You want it to be nice and square. Okay, folded that in half, then unfold it, flatten it out. And now what you need to do is you need to take each corner and bring it up to that fold line. And again, put a nice crease in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around to all 4 corners and do the same thing. 2 down. Let's see. Let's get this one going. And then here's the 4th one. As you can see, it almost looks like an envelope in a way. Okay, so I have all 4 of my corners folded in. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to orient this so it sort of looks like a diamond in front of me. I'm going to take the bottom half and fold it up to the center again. And I want to make sure That's one thing I do want to make sure. I want to make sure I'm working along that original crease that I put in there. So let me rotate this again and get this the right way. And I'm going to do this. And then do the same thing to the other side. And you'll notice I'm keeping this straight along here. And now it looks like a little kite. And like I said, I want to make sure that I have that along that initial crease that we made. The last thing you need to do is this top portion, this triangle that you can see here. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold it down away from the way I was folding before. And then let me flip it back over. And this is what you'll end up with. And then the very last thing is you fold it like that. Now, you need to do that 15 more times. We'll continue on. Again, this time I'm going to fold it without really talking a whole lot. I'm using a piece of paper that has a pattern on one side, blank on the other. So again, you want to make sure that pattern is face down. And then continue like you did before. And there you go. Another one done. One of the things I do want to bring to your attention is if, depending on the pattern that you have, if it's things like words or if the orientation does need to be straight, you want to make sure that your pattern falls correctly. So when this is done folded, I want to make sure that my stars are going to be up here and the stripes will be down below. Same thing with words. I want to make sure after I'm done folding this that my words will be upright, not upside down. So I did this wrong the first time, and you can notice I unfolded it and now I'm refolding it the other direction. And what's nice about it is those original creases I put in there, they won't show up. So I'm still able to get away with this easily enough. So there we go. And now my words aren't necessarily upside down. All right, here we are. I have all 16 pieces folded, and now we're ready for assembly. What you want to do, especially if you're using multiple colors and patterns, you want to get these in the order that you're going to want your wreath to look. So in other words, I'm going to have, you can see I'm alternating patterns and solids, and I'm going to do that all the way around. One thing also you may have noticed, once you've folded your part pieces, you have like a little opening here. How these assemble is you're going to take one piece and slide it into the other. Now my cardstock again is a little bit thicker than my paper, so it takes a little maneuvering, but there you go. And then you're going to continue doing this all the way around. I'll see you back in a few minutes. All right, I'm back. Okay, I have all my pieces interconnected. I've gotten to the last part, and I just need to now gently slide this one into here. And what I really like about this is if say you're a little bit lopsided, your center circle isn't round like you want it, it's just so easy to adjust to your final product. With your wreath all assembled and to the shape that you like, one thing you might want to do is take a little bit of glue and the wide end of a toothpick, dab it in there, and then just gently slide a little bit of glue between your pieces of paper, like so. And then just press it down, wipe off any excess, and let it dry. That way you don't have to worry that, oh, what if it falls apart? It'll secure it for you. Another thing I've done is I've added a ribbon. So all I have to do now is just hang this on the hook that I have on my front door. And then lastly, I want to show you some variations. So again, for this one, we used 8.5-inch square paper. I have this little one over here. On this one, I used 4-inch square paper, and I only used 4 patterns and repeated it. This consists of 12 pieces of paper, and again, I just repeated it 3 times. There is another one I found on the internet, similar to what we did. It has 16 pieces of paper, but again, it was 4 patterns repeated 4 times. So I hope you've enjoyed today's program, and thank you for joining me.